looks like the mic is live, and it looks like the video is live. So it is time, once again, for Drawing Inward. Welcome, everyone. Let me just get the camera lined up there. Trying some new lighting and some new stuff. We're just going to try some music. Cut down nice and low. Perhaps lower than that even. 1 second. Try to get that nice and... There we go. Alright, so yes, we are drawing tonight, as I've been drawing every Tuesday night, and working on a super deformed drawing. As always, I'm going to start with some line reps just to get in the mood, to get my get myself moving here, get the right lines going, just start feeling like I know how to draw, because it's been a whole week and it's a little dangerous to have your skills atrophy that much. I should probably be drawing every day. Right? That is almost always the best way to keep a skill up. I've been doing pretty well so far with just the weekly, so I can't complain. Hey Kuma, good to see you as always. I'm a little tired and might be fighting off a bit of a cold, but otherwise doing okay. Just, you know, got a little bit of those background things, slightly itchy eyes, slightly dry throat. Nothing really too serious. I don't feel sick. I just feel, you know, a little tired. A little out of it. Switch around that audio so it's not quite as distracting. Do some circles. Camera feed is super smooth. Excellent. Glad to hear the CPU is happy. I might actually... I gotta check my finances, see if I can afford to get the new camera this week as opposed to next week. I get paid, I think, on Monday, but I might be able to, you know, get it a little early and then make it up later. So how are we doing on this light? That might be too much. No, I don't know. That light definitely helps, but it's just kind of blowing out the top of that. My hand sure doesn't help, does it? Fiddle around with the light here until we get something that we're really happy with. I might want the lights somewhere else. I wonder if I tilted it up here. That might be better, actually. It's a little dimmer, but it's a little more even. We'll see. Tell me what you guys think in the chat. How have you been doing, Kuma? Get these circles nice and circly. Yep, better. It's better without light, but how are you finding it? The change you made sorted. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've got a bunch of different new lights set up here, and I'm still trying to find the best way of rigging them, because I've got one clamp to the underside of the desk, and I also just have to try to get light around and getting, you know, space and all that's kind of interesting. This is April 10th, 2018. Struggling with flu! That sucks. Yeah, I'm afraid I might be getting the flu, but we'll see. I was at PAX East this last weekend, which is a big gaming convention. Primarily video games, but I was there for the tabletop gaming section. What did I want to do here? Oh, yeah. Some nice smooth lines through here. Just practice getting those lines through. There we go. Glad to hear that. And I'm hoping the new camera will help. It's sort of a prosumer level camera. We will see. It's nice getting something a little different. Nice. So, the event is just a tabletop gaming convention, or I'm sorry, video gaming convention. It's put on by the folks who make Penny Arcade, the online comics. If you look for Penny Arcade comic online, you'll find it. Been around for years and years and years online. Part of maybe the first or second wave of online comics. And they started doing a convention called Penny Arcade Expo, or PAX. And that was originally in Seattle. They keep on doing that in Seattle, but it's branched out. They now do, so they do Seattle every year. Now they do Boston every year, and they're doing, I think, one in Texas every year. So it's pretty darn cool. Yeah, I feel pretty good there. And so you get to see, you know, the latest console games and PC games. There's a big PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Actually, not just a booth, a giant area with a bunch of PCs all playing it at once. You know, Nintendo was there, all sorts of different stuff. So that was really cool. In terms of anything of note, I walked through. I mean, nothing that I saw. I didn't really spend a huge amount of time in the video game area, mainly because I was there for what's called Games on Demand, which is an area where you can walk up and play a tabletop role-playing game. So, games that aren't D&D, but that are the similar kind of experience. So instead of fantasy heroes in a dungeon, you may be playing like Ghostbusters, or it may be sci-fi or what have you. And so folks basically just walk up and say, I want to play a game, and we say, here are the games folks are willing to run in the next hour, or they signed up to run in the next hour, and we kind of fill people in slots. So I was running a few games, and then also helping just to manage the booth and the flow of people and tell people how it worked and so forth and so on. So that was very smooth, worked very well. And then at the end of that, let me go here and pull this up. I was on a panel about various YouTube called Tabletop System Wars, where me and some friends basically said to the audience, what is your craziest game idea? And folks came up and said, I want to run, you know, this weird thing where it's all psychological horror, and it has to have a mystery and all these sorts of things. And we'd recommend a system for them, a game for them. And that is in... I've just put the link to that in the chat. So if you're watching this later, you can pull that in. I'll try to put it in the description as well. So that's cool. We had a good time, and recommended a lot of weird and unusual systems that folks hadn't heard of. All right, so that was line reps. Let's move on to some actual drawings. So as I mentioned before, I need my ruler. I'm going to add to my notes. Dupe. In the future to make sure I have the ruler with me. And I'm going to try doing a comic. But before then, I've been making some notes. These are my initial comedy notes, my kind of comedy seeds. There's actually a pretty good book I have here. I think this is it, actually. I think this is the one, might be, that is all about writing comedy. And it has a really neat, again, I'm not sure if this particular tool was in this book or not, but it talked about how to write comedy, how to come up with funny ideas. And the idea is you take a scenario situation. Often you're working with characters who are in a... One second. We need to pause this because this is a little annoying. Like the Purupurin song from Welcome to the NHK. The idea is your characters are usually in some well-defined situation, you know, in general. And you write out every attribute and aspect you can think of about that scenario, right? So if you got Friends or Cheers, or would be a good example of a more recent. I don't watch any sitcoms, so I don't really know. But if you're doing like a hospital drama and you want to do a joke in there, you write down everything there is you can think of about hospitals. And not trying to be funny, just what are all the things in a hospital and related to a hospital. And you look at each of those and say, okay, what's funny about that thing? And you pull jokes out of that. So here are my attributes of the outdoors, obviously not exhaustive. And from here, I think we can certainly pull out something funny. I like the idea. I have mud written down here. So I'm thinking of a comic about dealing with mud and how annoying that is. So maybe we have a panel where Frances is splashing through the mud and Alice is just trying to not get it on her clothes. I don't know. That would be not a bad introduction where Frances is charging along and there's mud splattering everywhere, and Alice is just kind of trying to get through this and kind of hating life. That's pretty good. So I think we'll try that. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, again, there are lots of different ways of doing it, but I think as a where do I start method, I think it's kind of effective. So what we're going to do here is I'm gonna split out this paper. So I think this time we're gonna take this and let's see here. Let's go down to 6. Maybe not. So we have about 24 centimeters to work with. So maybe I'll start at 2. And they'll go down to 14 and 26. So 2, 14, and 26 will be our lines. And I'm just going to try drawing in panels. And like not just drawing in panels, but drawing within panels. And we're going to see how that goes. And then let's see here, we've got about 22 centimeters. So I'll go maybe, what's the middle? So 22. So we'll go, so the middle point of that is going to be 11. So I'll just mark 11, and then let's say 1 centimeter in and 21. So 1, 11, and 21. Is that right? 11, it should be 22, right? To be even. So yeah, let's fix that. Math is hard. 1 and 22. Actually, what I should do is, all right, let me rework these numbers a little bit because of where these marks actually are. So we'll go 1, 11, 22. 1, 11, 22, and it's always possible to base these off of a starting point that you don't realize you're kind of wrong about. I'm just going to be careful about that. 1, 2, and you want to make sure that you're scaled correctly. I was off on some of these, but all right. There's my square. Yep, 11 centimeter separation. That makes sense. Can't get away from the feeling. That should be a centimeter. Yeah, about. And that's about a centimeter. Yep, okay. Interesting how sometimes things just feel not quite right. And obviously, with a camera, it's a little skewed. But whatever. All right, so I think I'm going to start with Francis splashing through the mud. So we're just going to have, you know, something like this. And then probably him again, doing the same. Maybe in this one, he's turning his head to look back at Alice. And then we have Alice. Maybe she's... actually, what I might do, just realizing, a better way of doing this would be to have him up here. So he's going to be at this point, whoops, at this point, and he's turning to look, and then she's going to be back here. Probably carrying books. Panels on the right are bigger by 1 centimeter. That doesn't make sense. 1 to 11 is 10. Then 11 to 20. Oh, right. That's okay. Okay, so too big. I can fix that, actually. Wait, just now. That's easy enough. I mean, I can live with those being too big. But since we're just starting, we can go ahead and fix it. Okay. All right. Thanks for noting that. So Alice is going to be back here, and then we'll have some kind of final statement by her, probably, as our joke, right? Okay. So I think that will work out for our general structure. So let's see here. And then, of course, we're going to have splashing mud. So we'll have dialogue probably up here. And then some dialogue here. And then dialogue here. And then I think I'm going to want to have dialogue from her and dialogue from him. Something like that. So, yeah, that gives us a good idea of how much space we have. And now, let's get a sense for our character. Oops. All right, so we've got our centimeters. We don't have too much space, so we're going to go with 1, 2, 3. Can we fit? Probably 2.5 centimeters. So we'll go 1, 2, and then 3, 5.5, 8. No. I got that wrong. What's wrong? No. Whoops. Okay, no problem. So 8.5 should be 6, and then 3.5. There we are. Okay. That 3.5, 6, 8.5, 11. That makes sense. All right. So there are our lines to give us an idea of that. So then we can erase our rough sketch and put in our real sketch. All right. So this is going to be head. Oops. Head. Let us look back at our samples of our character so we know what we're actually referring to. Yep, there's Alice from multiple sides. Let me grab a few Alices. Alice from the side. But we want Francis. Francis from the side. We'll do a couple of Francises. Francis's side. Okay. So we know, yep, he's got that, and he's got that. And then that, and then again, I need some reference here. Of someone walking to the side and just kind of striding along. There's got to be a drawing of Yotsuba doing that. Oh, there we go. So I want leg like this. Yeah, good. Okay, so that's the idea there. All right, that gives us our basis. Always good to have something to start with. Jumbo is awesome. Oh, storyboarding. You know, yeah. So we do a storyboard and then actually draw it somewhere else. I don't think so this time. I think if we were doing a serious comic, then that would be warranted. But for an experiment like this is fine. All right. So again, what I will do here is grab that, and then we'll go ahead and pull it in. Oop. Oh, right. I need to make that appropriate to scale and size. Yeah. Okay. So there's Francis from the side. Obviously, we'll need to flip it, but this gives us a beginning idea. We know he has his. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and draw in the hat. The thing, his. See here, we know we want that to come in and then out to the nose, and then down like that. His chin is up, so we can do that. His hair basically comes down like this. Again, this will be a lot more detail when I actually do the drawing. I'm just trying to get the roughs in here. Comes down to a very thin neck, and then we have the. See here, we have his. That's right. We need his arm. And he's definitely going to be striding very confidently. I want to represent that. Okay. So that is there. We, of course, have the kerchief, which will be fairly visible, swinging back and forth. We have his belt. We have his, actually his shorts are quite a bit longer than that. I think we'll show both sides of it, and then his legs, again, going out like this. And then the swinging of the feet. That'll do. Hey, Hakushiki. Ooh, that's a good point. I like the idea of using the goggles. Let me just put those in just so I can remember. I'll have to think about that. So now the question is, let me rough in the rest of the drawings. So we now want him, do we want actually a quarter turn? Should we make use of the full... I don't think he would be turning, you know, significantly, but I think what we can do here is instead, we'll use the similar kind of scale for him. Oh, and of course we've got to have, so we'll just be able to see a basic trail, and there'll be just kind of mud splashing out from that as he's walking. Not quite sure how to represent that, but we'll figure it out. That's an awesome idea that he has those reflection lenses. All right, so let's get his head shape in here. Again, he'll be kind of turning to look. So I think his head will be basically facing the viewer, but his body will be in roughly the same position, maybe turned a little bit. So maybe we'll make the body a little wider, and then go down to the shorts, and we'll have his feet sort of be partially, you know, not quite out, but not quite all the way in. I think this arm should be on the backswing already, but more, you know, like not quite, you know, whoop, not quite up. So yeah, that seems about right scale wise. So let's just throw on the hat. A little bigger than that. That's a little too low. Hat. Again, this is a very rough sketch just to get the idea. So he's looking back there. Yeah, that feels about right. Just to get those. His arms are a little too long. I'm just going to go ahead and take care of that. Shirt should probably be there. And then arms. Don't want it to look too much like a gorilla. Okay. And then, of course, the kerchief. Gotta have the kerchief. Okay. Yep, I think that's a decent place to go. Yeah, it is the spring, so we're starting to get all that fun sickness, illness stuff coming in. All right, so now we get Alice. Let me get Alice here from the side, and I think she's gonna be on the side both times. So let's look at her again. She'll be walking. Let's get our things. I think that's a pretty good scale. So that was what, 3.5, 6, 8.5, 11. 3.5, 6, 8.5, 11. 3.5, 6, 8.5, 11. Okay, that gives us space to work. Yeah, I'm quite happy with how this is working out so far. So we've got, whoops, wrong pencil. We've got Alice here. I'll go ahead and give her her hair. And the head will come down around here-ish. Yep. Now, the question is, she's a bookworm. Is she carrying books in her hand? Does she have a backpack? Is that how we're going to do that? She's got to have she definitely have a backpack, I think. No, you know what? She's going to have, need to move her forward. She's going to have like a suitcase of books. we're going to move her forward a little bit. That she's like lugging with her the whole time. This boy. The head shape is terrible, but we can fix that. So let's see here. Yep, so she's got her that. She's lugging that with both hands, of course. Down to the skirt. But she'd be lugging it, so I want that actually to be. She needs to be kind of leaning forward. Sort of digging her feet in here. Something like that. With the. Oops, nope. Something like this. And then she's going to have the thing. Yeah, I like the backpack. She's definitely going to have the backpack. Let's sketch that in. And then she's going to be dragging like a bookcase on wheels. You know, one of those? Not a bookcase on wheels. Duh. A suitcase on wheels. That's what I'm thinking of. So that's going to be back here as well. Okay, but that's going to be, she should be like, pulling that behind her. So that's there. Have her shirt sort of falling forward a little bit. All right, give her a, and then, yeah, then I think she's just gonna be angry. Oh, that's an interesting idea. That she's kind of always able to counter Francis's stuff. Huh. I'm not sure. I like the idea. I'm going to keep that in mind. So everything I've only seen the first two Eva movies, but I really like them. I haven't seen the original Eva either all the way through. I've seen the beginning and the end. But I love how the Eva movies manage to compress the things, kind of leaves out all the a lot of the stuff that people find frustrating. It kind of moves Shinji into action much more quickly. I really like them. The thing is, the Eva movies are not the TV series, right? It's not. A lot of people go into the Eva movies thinking, well, this is just going to adapt the TV series, and so I can just watch the movies, not watch the TV series. No, they are different. I honestly believe the Eva movies are meant to be a different experience. Like they are, it's not just condensed Eva. Anno is retelling that story in his own way, and so I think it's one of the reasons why the movies are so interesting. So I think they definitely are interesting. They are well done. They are well structured. What I've seen of the first two. Just be aware that they do not replace the TV series in any way, shape, or form, in any reasonable way. So I'm not sure what this last panel is going to be. I need to figure out what's going on. Nothing better than the great outdoors. Fresh air, sunshine, the something about the dirt, the mud, the feel of mud on your boots. Obviously, we'll fit that in somehow. Something like you just can't get this by reading about it in a library. Right, Alice? My library doesn't get mud all over my books. The mud is part of this is gonna have to be I'm gonna go left to right this time for this, just because I'm American. So yeah, that's actually a good point. The mud is part of nature. This is the problem. I want it to be a response from Francis, but then I want Alice to respond, but she's behind. So maybe we just move this, and then we'll need some response from Alice. The mud is part of nature. Mud, part of nature. I need some version of the mud can go screw itself, but from a 11-year-old. Something like, I read all about mud. I don't need to feel it. Do we have to be here? How do we finish this up? We need some resolution. Mud is part of nature. You'll be dry cleaning this. Something like that. You're responsible for washing everything. It'll be your job. Okay, here we go. You drag me out here. It'll be your job to clean off every first edition I have here. There we go. The mud is part of nature. The books. Books are made from nature. So something along those lines, maybe. I really don't want to squeeze both of them into one panel. Let's see. So maybe actually this is going to be Francis, and this will be Alice, and we'll have Alice here, looking perturbed. Something along those lines. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so let's get her in here. She will have stopped moving at this point. Boy, yeah, that's a terrible, terrible head. So it'll just be her shirt. Still, you know, so skirt is just skirt, and feet are just standing there. That's fine. She's still holding on to the wheeled books, and she still has the backpack. Okay. Francis needs a backpack too, of course, because he's a backpacker. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Kind of looking forward to getting to the end of this pencil. Pretty close now. All right. So that's a decent rough sketch. I'm going to fix their heads before I go any further. Let me switch back to Francis. That head is okay as a starting point. That is not. There's. Let's grab Francis there. Okay, so we need something like this, and then we come like that, and I'll figure out the eyes later on. Ears. Okay, that I can make work. I'm gonna fix that, man. Okay. She's terrible. Drawing is terrible. So let's figure that out. We need a much rounder head. And then we do what? We do this thing, we do that, and then we come around like that. Is that about right? I think that's fairly close. Something like that. Okay. Did that work? Totally. Yep. He is instinctual, she is intellectual. So yeah, that's definitely the problem there, is that she's just all... So we'll get the hair. And then we will... Whoa. Okay, that's a complete mess. I just love the idea that she's bringing first editions out to the wilderness like this. And then we'll fix that. Okay, that's a start. All right. I think I've got an idea here of what that's going to be. I think that's reasonably close. I'm going to try inking this, as crazy as it sounds, and just see where we go. So let's go back to, I should probably have, what I'll do, we'll pull Francis in, and then I'll load in eyebrows on the side. Just prepped. All right, so there's Francis. Let's go ahead and do this. Alice is definitely brave. All right, so I think I'm going to start. Pardon. Okay. That is what? Can I have a... Ah, there we go. So there's the eyes, which are not too terrible. Then we come down to the point. He has a very pointy nose. And we come down and around. And we want that to come down like that. And then come up like that. Pretty close. And he has the frizzy hair. We'll give him an ear. Frizzy hair. Frizzy hair. It's kind of getting in the way of that eyebrow, so I'll make it a little stronger. Then we have this. And we have the hat. It comes down. Got to make sure we get that. Those goggles. It's about the right size. Down. I think the goggles will remain off for this one. We'll give him a nice big grin there. All right, that's a tolerable Francis. Then we come down, and we're going to start with that. The kerchief kind of goes down around, like that, and then goes to the thing which I think we'll be able to see, and then underneath that is his arm. So we can do that, and then the arm comes out, whoops, like this. And then the body comes down like that. Body feels about right. We'll throw in his belt. And then, again, I want the shorts to come down and to be able to see a little bit of his butt, to be frank. A little bit of the seam there. Oops. This does not want to cooperate. And then we'll have this striking out. Go down a little further, I think. All right. Then behind there we have this and this, and this and this, and this and this. And then we'll give him his backpack. I think I'll go a little smaller on. Wow. This pen keeps dying out on me in the middle of drawing, which I don't like very much. Then his kerchief is going to come around like that. We'll show a little bit more of the kerchief tails. All right. He's walking along. Enjoy, Hyakushiki. That's awesome. So I need splashing mud. There's got to be some splashing mud. Well, There's water. Maybe we'll just do it that way. Just some. Yeah, we'll try that. Yeah, it's not bad. I'm not crazy about it, but it's not terrible. So we got some splashes coming up here as he's nope. No. There would not be splashes ahead of where he's walking. They would be behind. Doesn't make any sense. No sense at all. So instead, they're going to be like this, like that. And we'll do just a simple trail. Again, just to kind of get a sense of what that is. I should probably put something in the background, but I'm not going to yet. All right, so then we're going to get him from the side. So a lot of times folks recommend, or from the front. A lot of times folks recommend starting with the eyes, so I'm going to do that here. We want those there and there. A little bit of a underneath. If I can put the reflection, I can get away with that. Yeah, that's not too bad. We know these come down like this and then around very carefully and like that. Yeah, I think he's a bit too... Nope. That's a fail. Okay. I'm going to redo that from scratch because his head should be way wider than that. And while I'm at it, you grab a tissue. There's a bunch of gunk on my whiteout pen. We'll fix that. Much better. I like the expression on Francis there, but I'm going to just go ahead and do this. And completely screw it up again, I think. No, actually, that's not too bad. His eyes are too close together, though. So, you know what I'm going to do? Yet again. Well, I do. I'm actually looking at it right now. I do have those different angles on Francis up here. I just keep not looking at it right. In fact, you know what? Looking at that. Okay. We'll get it. We'll get there. Meantime, I think I can confidently draw the hat. Wow. Definitely having a tough time with this. Do. Whoop. 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 Okay, so I want the, so there's the under of the eye, there's over the eye, and then I want the eyes to be doing that. The actual eyes be doing that, and then what should his expression be? I think basically like this. Better. Better. And then we have our just coming down like this, and our just coming down like this, and connecting like this, and like that, and like that, and then coming down over the shoulder. And then we'll do the down to his belt, which is now here, and his shorts, and so we'll have shirt comes down like that, and his hand is out like this. Still see the backpack, which comes down to about there. There's the shirt. Backpack comes in like that. That'll do. Yeah, that is not un-Francis-like. We should probably also have like tracks, muddy tracks. Cool. Yeah, that's definitely better. He needs to have a, need to draw on the rest of his body. That would help. Okay, so now we can move on to Alice. Alice from the side. Okay, so let's do Alice. This is a 3. I did all this in the 3? I think I did all this in the 3. Fair enough. Bear up. All right, so Alice's hair, again, we like the overall shape of that. And then it comes back like this, shoulder length. And then we do the typical manga hair. And then it comes basically straight down to the ear, and then around, and then down. And then we'll do her, see here, that comes down pretty straight. And then we get a snub nose. And then we do this. And then we do this, and then back in. We'll give her eyes pointing forward like that. Ooh, I need much thinner. Okay, yep. I need the 0.1 for the eyes. Definitely. Does Alice's hair become curly when she's outside due to the humidity? Maybe, but I'm not going to draw that. That is a good idea, but I am not up for that drawing-wise. Okay, so we want, the eye line to be up here and here, and we can go ahead and draw in the eyebrow to be up here because we know she's distressed, and then we can go in and draw. Oop. Okay. The whiteout is not quite dry yet, so we can't do that yet. So let's go ahead and draw the rest of. Yeah, so she has a very simple top. It just comes down like this. And a shirt. Oops. Helps to use the right pen. I wanted to get across the idea that she's kind of struggling. Not sure if that comes through with this. But hopefully having her, I think her feet can be off the panel. Okay. And then we do the backpack, which will be bigger, I think. Go ahead and give her her arms. So there's the backpack. And we will finish out her hair. Can we see her? We should be able to see her hair back there. There we go. That's not bad, but she needs eyes. Okay, so no. The shape of that is wrong because the nose should be down further. Is Alice a new type? Maybe. A little zing. Maybe. Yeah, I can tell that's going to help. Meanwhile, we can go ahead and draw her expression. Okay, yeah, that's closer to Alice. Okay, I think we've got something closer to Alice. Now I gotta have the rollerboard with its thing that she is holding on to. That's fine. It's a little inexact, but that's, I can live with that. Maybe it has some cross beam there. That works. I don't like the line on the book bag. I don't like how curved it is. It needs to be more straight. This will look a lot better once it's inked in. That's better. Okay. So we have, so those about there, so that'll be about there. Oh, using the wrong pen. Keep using the wrong pen here. Okay. Coming. Yeah. Chling. Now we get to this one. So let me... Yeah. I'm going to try to get her head right in here. Let me look up. Oh, that's right. Whoa, what's wrong there? One sec. I have a side of Alice there. There we go. So we want, again, big head. Nice big head. Going down. And then hair. Boom. To about that far. It comes down to the ear. And then down there. And then we have that. Yeah, the line here comes down about like this. And then near the bottom of the ear, actually, it comes out to the nose. And then we have a curve down. Yeah, and then it comes out a little bit here and a little bit here. And that's Alice. Good. Okay, that feels much more correct. And then, like I said, I can do the rest of her body. Be a little wider than that, actually. Yeah. All right. So I feel comfortable doing Alice over here. Do her ear, which is not going to be quite like that. All right, there's the hair. And we'll do that. Very careful. Yep, that feels like Alice. Cool. Let's get her. Her eye. Yeah, okay. Basically the same mouth, but with the frowny face, it's, let's be honest, funnier. All right, then we'll do the rest of her. Again, we have the very simple top, the shirt coming down like this, to there, to the thing. I think now that should be kind of back here. So she's got it like this, and it's back like that, which means it's kind of off to the side now. Yeah, perspective on that is a little funky, but I might have to redraw that, and that's okay. There's the dress. with the skirt rather. And then we just have the legs coming down. Yeah, basically at rest. And I think we can see the top of the feet now. Oops, went a little over the panel. That's all right. Fact. All right, yeah, we'll tweak that. But yeah, that feels reasonably like Alice. Cogoless. That's funny. Maybe not. Maybe those. Yeah, no. All right. No, those will just go off the panel. Definitely has a Kaggle aspect to her. In fact, this is not this. Well, no, he's not really like Othran, but she's definitely got Kaggle aspects to her. All right, and then let's go ahead and make sure the rest of the muddy road is there. Okay. Cool. Let's. House's hair needs to be slightly longer, like in panel 3. You're right. Good catch. Let's make that correct. I always want this, the whiteout to act instantly. And it never does. So maybe I should stop acting like it would. I mean, nice. Yeah. Yeah, no question there's an Indiana Jones quality to Francis. Alright. Yeah, whiteout definitely doesn't dry quite the same. Alright, so we've got our expressions, we've got that. Alright, I think that's something. While we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and grab the 5. I think Francis wants to be Indiana Jones. Fancies himself to be Indiana Jones. But is not exactly Indiana Jones. There are these really cool rulers that have a metal edge, which I might end up getting one of here pretty soon. Oh, this pen is not happy. Because you can draw right across it. I need to redo that line. Get some nice clean lines in here. Thanks, yeah, and it's definitely a first attempt. Obviously, the characters are pretty wildly off model a fair amount of the time, but this is all about me learning to draw, and so I expect myself to get it wrong. Art is not a matter of drawing perfectly, it's a matter of making smaller mistakes. And so I am slowly making fewer mistakes with these characters. That's why I am pleased with this, because the characters are looking more and more like the characters as time goes on. You know, if I'm off model, it's by a smaller margin over time. So now we can fix her hair. Okay, yep, that's better. Ah, Nozaki-kun, cool. All right, let's go ahead and, oh, and we need, he's been splashing. So we need the splashes from there. Put that for a bit. So for example, his goggles are way too small there. Need to fix that. I went off the drawings, but they were, you know, I was a little bit off there. All right. Some of these lines don't really want to come out, but they will also come out with a little bit of extra care. And actually, while I'm here, there's some. I need to do a little bit of extra cleanup with the whiteout. There was some gunk on the whiteout initially, and I can go back over it with the whiteout and kind of clean that up. Make it look a little better. Again, with a little contrast in the final version. That won't be as obvious, but there we go. This is looking pretty good. Again, as a first attempt. Just learning. Just trying, just drawing. All right. I think I will go ahead and do the lettering on the computer. I like that effect, and I'll draw in the dialogue balloons that way. I'm just not familiar enough with how that works. So let me just mud all over my books. So I'll just clean up around there so that I can cut that out. Cut it out. Ladies and gents, we have a comic. That feels good. To actually have a finished comic. Let me see if I can't get that a little more in focus. Always hard to get the exact focus right. Yeah, I can scan that in and actually wouldn't feel too bad about putting that up online. Cool. All right, that's been about an hour and a half. I think I will stop there for tonight. Finish on a high note. So maybe next week we will try another comic and continue this sort of process. I think what I'd like to do, yeah, Brent 4, attempt 1. No complaints there. And a 4, Kuma. And I'll just keep on kind of refining this. And we'll see where it goes. Obviously, I could also use some backgrounds, and maybe that'll be the thing for next week. So maybe we'll I'll play around a little bit with also drawing in like forests and trees and things like that, just to get a sense of environment. I think it would be a good next step to learn as well. So, thanks Kuma, thanks everyone else watching. for this week of drawing inward. Again, making some progress, getting better slowly over time. And we will be back, should be back next week with more. Thank you all. See you next week. Bye-bye.